Hey Tim, yet again it's Friday.
We've done it.
Yeah,
We've
we
done it against all
sure
odds.
have. Who'd have thought?
Yeah. What about
So
this morning? Let me jump in. What about this
go.
morning? Josh Fergan.
He
Wasn't
was
that sensational?
he was absolutely fabulous. And if you did not tune into the webinar this morning, definitely check on our website and have a look at it. There were some really practical tips, but so engaging. He was
Yeah.
such a great presenter.
Yeah. And he covered everything, didn't he? So including sort of mental health ideas about, sort of the life that he leads. It's that old saying, isn't it? Early to bed, early to arise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. I mean, he certainly does practice that. Yeah, well, I'm boring, it was a very, very interesting and sort of uplifting presentation. It had a lot of value right across the board, not just for real estate agents, but I think for everybody.
Yeah, totally. What was your favourite part? What did you get out of it?
I thought it's the simplicity of things that appeals to me, maybe because I'm simple. But I like when he said, if you want to be good, do the things that good people do. And I go, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I can grab hold of that.
Yeah.
It's not like as if I've got to go and do some sort of serious mathematics course for 5 years before I'm clever. You just go and do the things that good people do.
Yeah, and that was a reference to Michael Jordan in the Last Dance, which is the whoops, that's my dad. I'll just turn him off, which is not easy to do, let me tell you. Michael Jordan said, he did the things that good basketballers did. And so the relevance in real estate is, what good real estate agents do. So get good at those things.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I thought was really interesting was, and I thought it was really interesting when he said, okay, the world has changed. It's gone, we've got two sort of people really in broad categories. One that's sitting back going, this COVID thing, it's all dreadful. My world's caved in around me.
Yeah.
None of it's my fault. I'm feeling so sorry for myself. Or what does he say? Never let a good crisis or something.
Yeah, that's right. Don't let a crisis go to waste.
Yeah, and to say, okay, well, let's just change our thinking here, and let's say, what is it that what opportunities exist in this? And when he said, now you've got people living in a home and they've been locked up for 6 weeks in that house full time, they're probably of a mindset where they're saying, what other options have I got?
Yeah, that's right. This house is too small, or I don't really like the people I'm living with. So
all of that.
That's right. So there were lots of tips on planning and lots of tips on dialogue and conversations and who to have the conversations with. So definitely worthwhile. There's also a resource that he referred to from Heron Todd White called the National Property Clock, and definitely go onto the Heron Todd White website and download that, because it's a really useful resource to take when you're having pricing conversations with your vendors. So a big thank you to Josh. It was a really, really good session. And to stick on our webinars for a moment, we've got the gorgeous Imi Callister on Friday of next week. So she's going to be talking about all things social media. And if you haven't been lucky enough to see Imi present, that's another one that you don't want to miss. She is a ball of energy and so knowledgeable in that social media space.
No, she used to be a ball. Now she's a McAllister.
That too. Very funny. That too.
Did you know her nickname was Eyeball?
Oh,
Imi.
that makes sense. Yeah.
She told me that.
And now everybody else knows. So on that note, if there are any other speakers or any other topics that you want us to cover in our Friday webinars, please just shoot through either a comment on this post or send an email through to me or the REI team. We're really happy to try and reach out to anybody that you'd like to see or cover any topic that you'd like to hear more about. So that would be good. Tim, I think it's important that because you and I had a board meeting with the Real Estate Institute of Australia.
Yes.
And I think it's fair to say that a lot of our members don't really know what the REIA do. So I think it's probably worth having a conversation around a couple of things that we know that they are working on at the moment. For example, we know landlord insurance didn't land where we would have liked it. And so that's a national conversation, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, because as we know, that the insurance goes right across all the borders, and we're looking for a global change, or a countrywide change, with the attitude to insurance. So we just need to keep that conversation alive and keep the pressure on them.
Yeah, and so whilst we can speak to our contacts in the state, just like the rest of the REIs around the country, it's really important for the REIA to engage that at that national level with that conversation.
Well, I haven't told you this yet, so I'll tell you now. But just between us, though,
okay.
I'm going to write to APRA, who is the regulator of banks and insurance companies.
Great idea.
And I'm going to say to them, would you please look into this, because I think it's inappropriate behaviour. Yeah,
I think that's a great idea. Well done. Now, there's been a lot of conversation around the support that ScoMo is talking about giving to the construction industry, and the number $50,000 has been thrown around. And we know from conversations with agents that it has stopped people buying property, but it's speculation, right?
Yeah, that's it's like the tax announcement. There's we're going to be looking at stamp duty. We're going to abolish stamp duty, and as we know, that was a thought bubble, and it's the same thing that's going on here. I think our politicians have got to start to be careful about what they're saying, because they do have massive impacts right across the market when they have these thought bubbles, and everybody takes it as gospel, and therefore it can have enormous disruption in the market, which is what we're seeing.
Yes, totally.
So there is no abolishing stamp duty in the foreseeable future, and there is no 50 grand in the foreseeable future. They're just ideas that people have got.
Exactly, and it's a real shame that because we know as soon as those things come out, it does impact transactions at a time when the government's actually trying to stimulate business. So that whole construction support is another REIA conversation, because it's a national conversation, and certainly Treasury have asked for some input as to what potentially people will need moving forward in the real estate industry. We're suggesting that support in regional areas in particular around transport and communication would be really positive, because we believe that some people are going to look at moving regionally because they've realised that they can work from home. So why not move regionally? But if there's more infrastructure focused on the regions and rural areas, that again will be a win in lots of different ways.
No, I think you're 100%. I think the big winners, if we can say that, that's going to sound dreadful, but the big winners out of COVID are going to be the regional areas.
Yeah.
Haven't we all demonstrated that we can work remotely?
Yeah.
I've demonstrated it to me, and you know how affectionate I am with technology.
Yeah.
So even I can do it. So you can live where you want to live now.
Yeah, I know. It's a whole new world. So yeah, I just thought it was important to have those conversations around some of the things that REIA are working on. Is there anything else that you want to share before we go?
No, I think I'm right. Other than what our board is doing, since we mentioned the REIA, with pushing ahead with our professional program, which I think is just so important.
So that's the next steps for the pathway to professionalism is a steering committee that will get a little bit more granular, to use your terminology, around exactly what that program will obligate people to and how you will need to qualify to be part of that program. So I'm excited that we're actually moving forward with that, and there's going to be a lot of consultation out to agents. So if anybody's interested in that space, please reach out. We would love some input. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going out tomorrow night. First time in so long.
You'll have to find the front door. You wouldn't know where it is.
I know. I'm excited. You have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Okay.
You too. Stay safe if you're going out. Don't forget to wear your mask.
Absolutely. And we should just say that we're going to cut these down to twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, as of next week. So we will be back to you on Monday afternoon.
I had to go and see the dentist earlier this week, and I said to him, well, I thought they would make me wear a mask, and then I realised just how stupid that was.
On that note, happy weekend, everyone.